Hello everybody, Raspberry Barrel here with another Biographies of Mewni. And today we'll be reading our next biography by Infaminxy on DeviantArt. And for anyone new here or anyone that forgot, the Infaminxy universe takes place in the Jig0109 universe with some differences. Today we'll be reading Medusia the Sculptor, who in this universe is the daughter of Jig's Supina the Strange. Let's not dilly-dally and let's just get into it. Please forgive me if I stutter, hesitate, or mispronounce anything, and for any noises in the background. Let's go. Medusia the Sculptor. Having a strange obsession for rocks, she turned it into something beautiful and made sculptures from rough rocks and made all the Mewmans shocked. Medusia Butterfly, the Sculptor. Born 279, died 329. Was Queen 296 through 316. Married to Ulrich Malay. Children Thea Butterfly and Len Butterfly. Princess Medusia was born to Queen Supina in 279. She had pink pickaxes on her cheeks and tender pink hair and eyes. Medusia began to develop an obsession for rocks when she was young. It seemed harmless at first, but after she claimed a rock to be her best friend, and maids and servants began to see her talking to rocks, people saw it as a little strange. Some even called her a strange princess for the strange queen. Despite being bullied by some of the nobles for her obsession, she didn't mind it and ignored it. Aside from her obsession over rocks, she was a very sweet and empathetic girl, willing to help anyone, and was quite determined. Medusia's obsession for rocks began to turn into something normal when she reached the age of 9 and no longer talked to them nor called them her friends. Supina noticed this and enrolled her in geology classes. Only a few months into her geology classes, she started to pick up sculpting as a hobby and soon enjoyed it more than her obsession with rocks. She earned the wand in 293. It took the form of a pickaxe, surprising her parents as well as the nobles. Medusia began to use the wand to sculpt rocks in clay. Medusia's wand, stone carver. After only a few months of sculpting, people began to see what the princess was up to, and to Medusia's surprise, people were stunned with her statues and sculptures to the point where some were faint. Despite all the attention she got for it, she never bragged about it or talked about it much. In 295, Medusia was sculpting a statue of Lunaria, the Queen of Tides. It was fairly large, about 20 feet tall. She was sculpting the tower part of the statue when an arm of it fell down on her and broke her back. Medusia was bedded for 2 months at the care of her mother and her magic soups. The experience made Medusia give up on sculpting for a while, as she was scared of it happening again, but one afternoon something would happen that would boost her inspiration again. During a warm afternoon, Supina was showing off some of Medusia's sculptures to the nobles and their children. They were all astonished. Lady Forrest even fainted into her husband's arms. The next day, after a council meeting, the noble kids started complimenting her and apologizing for bullying her. She even became friends with them. Out of all the noble kids she was friends with, she had the closest bond with Ulrich Malay, and in 296 started a romantic relationship with him. Medusia became queen later that year after her mother abdicated and only a few days later got married to Ulrich, Medusia's crown. She gave birth to her heiress in 297, Thea, a girl with the golden hair and green eyes of her father. What shocked Medusia and Ulrich the most was only 3 minutes after her birth, Thea's hair started to sparkle and shimmer. Medusia was left very weak and fragile after her birth, but quickly recovered due to her mother's healing soups. While gazing at the statue of Lunaria she had sculpted years ago, she got an idea of sculpting all the previous queen's statues alongside that one. She started with Medusa, and while it was hard to do due to limited references, she used the Saint Medusa's portrait to help her. It got easier down the line due to references being more available, but the process took some time even with the wand. In 299, Medusia received news from a watchtower that a rogue group of monsters were heading for the kingdom, and there were a very large amount of them. Medusia was about to prepare the army when an idea popped into her head. She fled from the castle and into the very front of the kingdom. She could see the army coming. She pointed her wand in front of her and erected a gigantic avalanche, crushing all of the monsters. This spell was later known as Roaring Avalanche. One day, while she was walking a minor hike into the Jaggy Mountains, she heard little squeaky voices approaching her. She then heard them below her and looked down, where she saw a lilac ant. It floated up to her magically, asking her for help. She accepted nervously, asking what they needed help with. The ant requested she help their tribe with sculpting a massive boulder into the shape of their king. That is, if she had sculpting experience, which she told them she did. The process took a while, with Medusa returning to the same spot every day to help sculpt the statue. Within 3 weeks, the statue was done, and the ants had greatly thanked Medusa for her assistance. 309 was the year Supina unfortunately died, but on the bright side, Medusa gave birth to Sidelen, a girl with golden hair and pink eyes, carrying magenta X's on her cheeks. While showing a few of her statues of the queens to Ulrich, he asked who would sculpt the statues of the future queens. This made Medusa think, as she wanted to continue the legacy of making statues of queens, but couldn't find anyone skilled or trusted enough to continue the task. That's when Medusa remembered the magic ants. She went over to the Pebble Dimension, where the ants took residence. She approached their king himself and asked him if his workers could continue her legacy after she was gone. He accepted, as he was highly grateful for the beautiful statue she had helped sculpt. Medusa passed the crown to Thea in 316, after her marriage a stone Roxanne. Medusa lived to see the birth of her granddaughters Festivia in 319, Capella in 321, and Avrisa in 322, and the son of Sidelen in 228, Wax. Medusa died in 329 of a severe fever. She was buried in the crypts of the castle along with all of her ancestors. Medusa listening to the lilac ant. And that was the biography of Medusa the Sculptor by Infaminxy on DeviantArt. I hope you all enjoyed, and please go check out Infaminxy and the rest of their amazing art and stories, especially if you don't want to wait for the next video. Thank you all. I'll see you all next time. Have a great rest of your day. Raspberry Barrel signing out.